No, I agree. I agree with that.
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, I definitely, I mean, it was going to come up, so I guess we're doing it now. The idea of getting rid of Battlemaster as a class and then giving Battlemaster maneuvers to everybody, right? 100% on board for that. I think we are all on board for that. I know not on board for that.
I'm on board with giving everybody battle maneuvers. I'm not on board with getting rid of the Battlemaster, though.
But you can't have one without the other, Matt.
Yeah, you can.
How do you give everyone maneuvers and then keep Battlemaster?
So I think, and this I got this idea from there's a YouTube channel. This guy, he's called Instructaboy. If everyone kind of look him up, he's pretty good. He mentioned the person that he got the idea from too. But why do just with a question? Why do most people go fighter? All they do is do 2-level dip for action surge, right?
Okay.
What if you switched out action surge for the one the fighting style that you get to pick two, or I think it's the feat. You get to pick 2 maneuvers. Here's your D8 or D6 hit, superiority dice. And that way every single person who plays a fighter or anyone who dips the 2 levels into fighter, you now get maneuvers and you can pick. And there's so many maneuvers to pick from, and it makes a bunch of different characters. Yes.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Pause.
Yep.
You don't get it if you do a 2-level dip necessarily. That doesn't.
What do you mean?
Well, because you don't. Well, it depends on. Well, because
no, I'm saying that if you swap out action surge for this new thing that gives you pick
for the
2
feat,
battle,
feat that gives you maneuvers.
The feat that gives you maneuvers.
Okay.
Yeah,
I was
sorry. I'm sorry. I thought I was clarifying.
Because I was like, I thought Josh was saying you don't get action surge on a 2-level dip, and I'm like, but
no.
I don't. Who can tell him?
No.
No. I'm saying. Wait, what do you mean you don't get action surge on a 2-level dip?
You do.
So that's what I thought he was saying.
No, yeah.
No, that is not what I was saying.
Okay.
I was saying you don't necessarily get that feat on a 2-level dip. That would be handled but yes, you're saying replace action surge with that feat as a class feature instead.
Yeah. And then what he did, which I think is smart, is it's 6-level fighters get a feat. Why not just give them the action surge there? They have extra attack at 5th level. Next level, they go fucking, mega mode. And it's like, oh, cool. Now I can attack 2 times a turn. Oh, wait, no. I can action surge. And now I get the 4 times.
But all of this, I still don't. This seems like you're doing a lot of extra work to try and keep Battlemaster in the game for no reason.
Well, no, because I don't think Battlemaster should be swept under the rug or forgotten. I think it is still important in the game for fight. I think it honestly it is the. Oh, sorry. No,
here's my thing though, Matt. So if you take away maneuvers, right? If you give out maneuvers as part of fighter base, Battlemaster has nothing else.
No, it has more maneuvers. You just made the Battlemaster even better. You gave it more maneuvers to do more things. You just gave that person who played Battlemaster even more options for different weapon combos and different things they can do in combat instead of I hit the guy. Okay. I hit the guy again.
But no. My point, what I'm saying is that with only one small exception, which is the weird know your enemy ability they get, literally every single class feature that you get from Battlemaster is just an upgrade to your maneuvers. You get a die upgrade, you get more maneuvers. That's every single one with the exception of know your enemy, which is a weird thing they threw in at level 7. So you're taking the thing that made the subclass special and giving it to everybody.
Well, no, because it's only giving you 2. It's not giving you a lot. It's giving you two maneuvers you can do, which again is beneficial to every single fighter. And then if you specifically play Battlemaster, you have 5. That's nuts.
Sure.
That's great. At level 3,
yeah,
you have 5 maneuvers. You can do all sorts of crazy nonsense, and it just I feel like it's beneficial rather than saying I feel that way towards the champion. I feel like the champion fighter can be erased, but it's it's level 3 feature, it's level whatever, its subclass features can be slapped on any fighter in place of those feats that the normal fighter gets, and you can call it a day and be fine. The Battle Master, I think, is like, it is such a good subclass because of the abilities. And yes, it's like, oh, its subclass abilities only give you more of the thing it does. But, and this is kind of another sub point, 5e is not about the class. It's about the subclasses. 5e was specifically built about subclasses. That's your bread and butter. And just to get rid of the Battle Master, which is probably one of the most fun examples of a fighter, you know, I feel like it kind of like does it a disservice.
I can't necessarily say that I agree with you there, Matt. Like, I feel like,
Yeah.
I think the thing here, right, is that, and I don't necessarily disagree with this thought, is that the fighter, as much as I like it, doesn't feel complete. For the same reason that I like it, admittedly, right? I like having a bajillion feats, but it does mean that the fighter lacks a really established identity other than the class that gets all the feats, which isn't much of an identity. So I think that if you could fuse Battle Master with all of its features into fighter, and then you would get your subclasses on top of that, that to me would make fighter feel complete. And you can sort of do that, and I'm just thinking about this now, and this is potentially maybe why they gave you the maneuvers as a feat, so that you could play the subclass that you want and get the thing that makes the Battle Master so cool, which is the maneuvers. So at level 20, you could theoretically play a champion fighter with a bunch of maneuvers because you took them as all of your feats, and then you really are the greatest fighter who ever fightered. You know what I mean?
Well, I think most feats you can only take once, right?
The
Yes.
maneuvers you can take multiple of.
So, quick clarification here. So, technically, this is a little wonky. The feat is not that you get a fighter maneuver or a battle. The feat is not that you get a Battle Master maneuver. What the feat says is you get a fighting style. So the feat we're talking about is fighting initiate. Your martial training has helped you develop a particular style of fighting. As a result, you learn one fighting style option of your choice from the fighter class. If you already have a style, the one you choose must be different. Whenever you reach a level that grants an ASI feature, you can replace this feat's fighting style with another one from the fighter class that you don't have.
I think he's talking about Martial Adept. Martial Adept.
Hold on. Wait, what?
You're thinking of the
Martial Adept. Yeah, wrong feat.
Yeah, Martial Adept is what I'm thinking of.
That's the one that gives you maneuvers.
Give you a straight up maneuver?
Yep, and that's
you
from
get
the player's
two maneuvers
handbook.
of your choice from amongst those available to the Battle Master archetype in the fighter class. If a maneuver requires your target to make a saving throw to resist the maneuver's effects, the saving throw DC equals 8 plus your proficiency plus your strength or dex modifier, your choice.
Can you gain
one
this
superiority
multiple
die.
times?
Doesn't say that you can't.
So then yes.
Well, that's the thing. Like, now I gotta look up because most feats usually you can't take more than once.
Okay, so hold on, just so I don't look like a complete fucking idiot. The confusion I was having is Fighting Initiate gives you a fighting style, and Tasha's added a fighting style where you can get a maneuver. So that's how I thought it was. I forgot about Martial Adept. Because there's a fighting style now called Superior Technique that you can pick as a fighter that gives you a maneuver, but I think it's just one. But yeah, okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah. So, well, Isaiah, you didn't finish, did you, Isaiah? Sorry, I was getting confuzzled.
Sorry, my fire alarm is going off in my town, and it's this terrible, awful, screeching blowhorn sound. Using this option rule, you can forgo, you can take each feat only once, unless the feat description says otherwise.
Okay, so then you can only take it once.
Yeah, I suppose, but that one feels kind of stupid that you can only take once if you can take more than one fighting style.
Yeah.
Like, if I was going to run that, I would just say fuck that, because that's dumb, right? Like, you're losing your ASI to take a feat.
Yeah.
Like, I don't see why that would be so busted.
But you also have to remember that, and this is something we talked about last episode, feats are optional rules. Whenever they make something for 5e, they don't. I think now they're starting to incorporate it where feats aren't optional anymore.
That is kind of the problem,
they
right?
go back to player handbook. Feats are optional, so therefore, like, we don't do that.
So my thing with the whole, all right, here's my thing. So Matt, I don't agree with you. Isaiah, I partially disagree with you. My whole thing is a little less mechanical and more about feeling. The reason I say that all fighters should have Battlemaster maneuvers and that you should just nix the Battlemaster is because I feel like the idea of fighting techniques and maneuvers is so quintessential to the concept of a fighter. Like, it's so baked into the DNA of the fiction of playing a fighter that I want the mechanic to reinforce the fiction. So I think all fighters should have access to maneuvers, because it doesn't matter. To me, it shouldn't matter if you're a Rune Knight or an Eldritch Knight or a Psy Warrior or a Gunslinger or a Samurai. All of them should still be using good techniques to, like, get one up on their opponent, you know? Fucking sweep the leg, like pommel strike a motherfucker, like stun someone, you know, feinting maneuvers. Like, all of that stuff feels like it's just quintessential to the concept, and I don't like tying it to only one subclass and saying the other fighters don't get to do it. Now, granted, you can take the feat, so you can dip into it a little bit, and then you could potentially, rules as written, have 3 maneuvers on any fighter, right? Because you could take the martial adept feat, and you could take the fighting style, which is superior technique, which gives you another one. So you can do it a little bit, but I think they should just open the floodgates. Everyone should get maneuvers, because it just feels cool and fun, and it just feels like that should be what a fighter is to me.
It does, but my only issue with that then, which is why I brought up, you switch out Action Surge, you get 2 of them, there you go. If you want more, actually play a Battlemaster. I feel like, and it defeats the whole purpose of 5e being streamlined and easy to play. If you want me to play a Rune Knight and remember all my shit, and then also have maneuvers on top of that, I think you're going to get a lot of players, like, confused.
I honestly do not think you will.
I don't either.